Hello YouTube, Anna Bella here, and today, finally, at last, I'm going to be doing my Warhammer / Robogear / Warhammer 40k series of reviews and how-tos. Today we're focusing on Wargame terrain, because I've got the Wargames terrain books out. I recommend getting the books because they are so helpful. And this is an older book. But even that has some useful tips for how to do things for both Warhammer itself and 40k. A lot has changed, and I suspect that these ones that look newer are actually now probably out of date. But they have some good ideas and some good tips in them. And I also recommend is how to paint digital miniatures. I know a lot of people are kind of like roll your eyes at this, but they do offer some great tips, and you can apply some of the tips to actually making the terrain as well. But I recommend buying both. But if you can't, if you really are kind of like stuck between which one to do, which ones to get, I would actually go for the if you're into war terrain, get the war terrain one, because it is slightly thicker. And it does have some handy tips. I mean, in the past, things used to be made more out of cardboard and not necessarily looking 100% real. Whereas the focus is now very much sort of like we take the foam, we carve it, we make it look real 100%. And it never used to be like that. Okay, books aside, because I'm going to plonk them down on the floor, making a nice sound. Okay, here we go. I just put this nearer. This guy is not from Warhammer or Warhammer 40k. He's actually from Robogear, but he's here for scale purposes. I am going to be showing you my armies and some more Robogear stuff from Warhammer, because that's what I collect. There'll be also some Lord of the Rings, and there'll also be some Robogear. Okay, this wall was made quite a while ago. This was made for Lord of the Rings. It's actually a bit of wood stuck down, and then little pieces of cardboard painted a lighter shade of grey. Ha ha ha, 50 Shades of Grey, blah blah blah. Can we move on? And I stuck those on. I really regretted not filling these cardboard in with polyfiller, but to be absolutely honest, it doesn't matter. And then I put on always flock last. Always flock last when you do terrain. Doesn't matter. Whatever you're doing, do all of the grey or the stone or whatever it is first. Get that done and then flock. Very much like how you would do with a normal model. These guys, I just painted them silver and gold for ease because I was lazy. But I'll show you why I was lazy with those later, because they've got some big vehicles in Robogear. These are some trees. Yes, they are a bit bent, but I actually kind of like that because it makes them look like the wind is actually doing stuff to them. These are just standard bases. Trees stuck on with PVA or glue gun, but be very careful with the glue gun because these trees are actually plastic, so you can melt the plastic. And then I flocked the trees with fuzzy flock and regular flock and all kinds of flock. There's loads of different colours. And you don't have to get it from your local Warhammer store. You can get it from, like the Hornby Railway people as well. Or you could just get like little pebbles from your garden. There's nothing to stop you using those because, hey, they're much cheaper and they're free and they're just outside your back door. So that's those. They're pretty boring, really. On to this baby, which is one of my favourite ever pieces of terrain that I've ever made. This, I kind of imagine this being kind of like a swampy land, and with like your little snipers like sniping through it, or your scouts. It's a bit of wood that was shaped like that. I then put another little bit of wood on it, and then I used the glue gun to glue on these sticks, which I roughly cut. I didn't want perfection because you don't get that in nature. So you kind of get these sort of like stringy bits, which I think add to them being real. And then I painted them, and then I let that dry, let the glue dry, obviously. Then I painted them this sort of dark brown colour, then I put on my lovely little cute little pebbles. Okay, then we come on to this hedge. This hedge is a very basic hedge. It's actually made of wood. I painted it green, lots of different colours of green, and then I basically flocked it. And then I did the same with the base. But I also painted the base kind of brown and green and all kinds of fun things. And now it looks really cool. And it's just a really short hedge. That's that. Here we have another tree. This is half flocked, half gravel. Now this one's slightly interesting. It is 2 bits of wood, and then I got, you know, the frames, the plastic frames that you pop out your figures from. I broke that up and I glued it on to get that rubbly effect, and then I put dark grey on. Then I dry brushed on the lighter grey, and then I flocked. There's a lot of flocking. Yeah, let's not make any jokes about that because that would just be stupid. Okay, moving on. This is another kind of hedge/wood pile. I'm not quite sure if it did come out okay. I'm kind of of 2 minds with this. Basically, I got a load of sticks, piled them up together, glued them on. Then I painted the base brown, and then I just flocked it. But I kind of think it kind of works. Maybe I should have done a dry brushing with a lighter brown. But having said that, that's going to be quite useful because I think it's a good contrast to this hedge. And yeah, it kind of blends in, but maybe that's what you want. I don't think I'm going to put any... This side is better. This is the better side because you've got lighter there. The back is really quite dark, but I think that adds to it. You don't want everything so, oh, she's just dry brushed everything again, how boring. So yeah, you should just have a go and see. Another tree complete with pebble from garden, yay. And then instead of, this is actually a bit of wood painted green. Trees on. Yeah, they kind of bend a little bit, but it's all the wind. Here's a tree, but this time I've just done with like little pebbles. So it's all slightly different because if you do it with 2 different types of flock or more than 1 type of flock, you can then have them in different areas. So this is like, you could either, this could go on a desert or some rocky terrain, as well as having some grass. So you're leaving more options open for yourself. Unfortunately, when you glue the pebbles on, the little bits of flock have a tendency to stick to them. And I don't know whether that's good or bad, but it kind of end up blending into it. But they're there. I kind of do their rock thing. Okay, now these are Robogear space terrain. I painted them silver, and then I've obviously sort of dry brushed them in this weird kind of rusty colour. And I think that's just added so much that I really, really like the base, but unfortunately you can't see it. That's added so much to this because you put the little dude on. Ta-da! We all blend. Yeah, silver is a cool colour. So that, and then I've also got this one, which is kind of a more steely grey. Yeah, we're talking about grey again. Get over it. Steely silver / grey. Just to make it look real. It's obviously been dry brushed. See, look at that. Look at the detail. Dry brushing is brilliant. You've got to get into it. If that's the only technique that you ever learn, dry brush, my friends. Dry brush. See, I think that could be a bit... You could dry brush that. But then again, you don't want every single piece of detail popping out because that's not how it works in life. Not everything is perfect. And I think you have to get it through your head. It wouldn't be perfect anyway because you're on a battlefield, for goodness sake. Okay, have I just... Yeah. Right, let's remove the trees. Whiz round with the cheesy board. Hey, tree removal happening. Doo-doo. Please wait while we remove trees. There we go. I'll remove this one. It's always nice to have more than, like, some bases have got 2 trees, some have got 1, some have got 3. It just, it adds to a space. Oh, that looks nice, doesn't it, in the light? Okay, moving on from light. So here we are. We can either get up, get up using this ladder. I've got that, and they can climb up there, I guess. So that it's really kind of rickety construction. But then again, it would be. It's on a battlefield. Have you seen battlefields recently? They get decimated and things look rusty and they aren't perfect. I think this is one of the best rustic paint jobs I've done. I kind of really like it for its steely greyness. So, yeah, that's that. It's from Robogear. Even if you see a set of Robogear and you don't particularly want the figures or the interesting vehicles that come with it, you can just use the terrain pack that comes with it and build something nice. Or you could even just break up all the little figures and use them in terrain, because there's nothing to stop you from adding heads or adding bits of gun around, because you could stick guns on here. You could do all sorts. That's the beauty of wargame terrain making. You never know what you're gonna get. Yay, hey, quoting Forrest Gump, yippee. Okay, this is my next piece of terrain that I want to show you. Just move those trees out of there. The trees really add something. Do you like the new blue velvet stuff? Now, this was quite a tricky thing to make. It's got a cardboard base, and then it's got cardboard here. And you glue those together, and then you put polyfiller on it. And you have to wait for the polyfiller to dry. And if the polyfiller over dries, you get this cracking thing going on. But don't worry about it. You can live with it. You really can. I've glued on some rocks there and there as well underneath. So you put the cardboard on. You then put any sort of bits of detail that you want on. And then the polyfiller goes over the top. You let the polyfiller dry for 12 hours. You then come back. You put on the dark grey, you dry brush over with the light grey, and then you flock. Now this has had to have what I would call touch-ups, because look, there's a bit of damage there, and you can actually see the original bit of cardboard. So I'll have to touch that up at some point. And it is a case of just continual touching up, because originally this was polyfillered properly, and then it started cracking. But I didn't mind it, I just sort of stuck the polyfiller back on with super glue. And you get a different technique. And it will. Homemade terrain does require a lot of maintenance. That's why this spent most of its life in the attic. But, yeah. So don't worry if it cracks. You can always repair it. Or you could just put flock on it. It could be moss. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I might just paint it grey. Decisions. So yeah, that's basically this. I hope you've enjoyed this short review. I'm going to put all this stuff away now. So yeah, my next review will probably be my Robogear vehicles. Then I will probably look at my first Warhammer army, which is a Dark Elf army of God knows how many points it is, and I will look at a very, very basic Bretonnian army after that. And I might do them in stages, I've not quite decided, but Robogear stuff is coming next. Hope you've enjoyed the war terrain stuff. And I will be showing you the Robogear guys as well as the vehicles at the same time, purely because I can. So this is Anne at Bella signing out. Hope you've enjoyed it. Bye!